What's up? Semen retention. Men's mental health is getting terrible, and it's up to you. Nobody cares. Uh, I believe it's Men's Mental Health Month, but it's also like Pride Month or whatever. And I was on TikTok and I'm seeing a lot of this different stuff. You know, uh, just about just a lot of different stuff about men's mental health, and I try to get away from. I wasn't on TikTok as much, but I just noticed that I heard somebody say that on TikTok. And I think in today's society, uh, men's mental health is not cared about really, and I believe it's kind of a man's fault, but it's also just everybody's fault, because when we were younger as boys and stuff, and just in general, a man showing emotion, we were always taught to suck it up, don't cry about it, be a man, and not show them. And I do think that although it can be that can be a benefit, that also puts us in a place where a man can be going through a lot and never say anything to anybody, you know. And sometimes, yeah, man, a conversation with somebody can do a lot. Talking to people can do a lot. You ain't got to be no therapist. You don't got to be any of that. And not saying that talking with people is gonna fix anything, but I think um when a man is in a because a lot of times with girls and stuff, bro, like, and a girl won't never say this, but a lot of times a man won't cry around a girl because the girl she may not with her words, she might be like, well, no, I don't care if he cries, I love him still. A lot of girls will, you know what I'm saying, they don't like when a dude is emotional and crying and stuff, you know. And this not about getting a girl. This not about female attraction. This not about trying to be attractive. This is about, a man taking care of his mental health, regardless of all of that. All the other stuff is secondary, you know. And I think a big thing we got to start doing as men is we have to understand how the world looks at a man too, but also it's a personal thing, it's an individual thing. What are you doing in your life that's making you feel bad? What are you doing in your life that's making you feel depressed? And I think the way we see a lot of men mental health going down, I feel like it's because, and a big thing is watching websites, it's masturbation, you know, it's being isolated while having those bad habits. And so a lot of the things that deteriorate our mental health to be something that a man is doing to himself. It don't really be that people picking on a man or whatever. But even then, when a man is being picked on, like, it's been plenty of times. Like, I've seen things like it's things that happen to me just on an embarrassment level, and on a socially embarrassment level, that and 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 also like with like being rejected by girls and stuff, and a girl picking on me. Uh, that stuff I had to stick through. That stuff I didn't cry about. I never. It's so much stuff that happened to me, and I didn't cry about it because you know what I'm saying. I feel, oh, he weak. I'm weak if I think like that. But that also taught me to not care. You know what I'm saying? As much about what somebody say, but it was stuff that hurt my feelings when I was younger. That, that people done said to me and people done did to me. You know what I'm saying? And I had to suck it up. And I think a lot of the times, a lot of girls, like if a girl went through what I went through just from a like a social aspect, like just being embarrassed or being rejected, it's a lot of girls who, you know what I'm saying, they can't take that type of, you know what I'm saying, rejection or embarrassment that a lot of times a man will go through on a daily basis. And but if a man shed a tear about it, what you crying about, or what you like you weak, you a punk, you know? And that's why a lot of men, we be tougher emotionally a lot of the times, because we're taught to just suck it up and keep going. But I do believe that's not entirely harmful, but I do think that that can get a man away from actually speaking about it. And so I think the best people to talk to about that when you're a man is other men, because other men are gonna understand you. They're not gonna look at you that much differently. But you gotta be men that's like you. I feel like you gotta be like-minded people. A lot of the times, like if I go and if I'm gonna do this in the self-improvement and I'm in the semen retention, I'm into being the best version of myself, and I'm feeling bad about something, and I kind of want to talk about something. You know what I'm saying? It's personal or emotional. You don't go and talk to the guy that's a degenerate, that's promiscuous, that's a wannabe gangster, that he don't care about all of that. You don't go and talk to him. You go and talk to the dude that's similar to you, where he care about everything, and he don't seem retention. He trying to be the best man he can be. You go and talk to him because he gonna understand you, and he can probably give you, you know what I'm saying. He can get you a lot further as far as a conversation and helping you than any other guy. Because a lot of times people are just say, "Well, go and talk to men about these problems," when really it's other men who think like everybody else, and they gonna pick on men too. You get what I'm saying? They not gonna really sit and try to be intellectual and have a conversation and be emotionally intelligent. And I'm not saying emotional intelligence in a way that how a lot of people use it. I'm talking about a man who can understand when somebody is feeling bad. You know what I'm saying? And he can be one on one with a person and just be real, and not be like, man, you weak for that. What you crying about? Tough it out, And I don't think saying that is inherently going to hurt you, but we don't need to have men getting away from community. Men need to come together, and that's why I feel bad a lot of times because I have friends that sometimes I might deliberately ignore or whatever, just because I feel like sometimes, you know what I mean. I feel so bad about myself that I feel like I'm hurting people that I be around. And so I felt that way before, and I'm feeling good, man. Like I'm on day 11 semen retention. This is my longest streak. Uh, and I'm gonna go even longer, man. And so I just want to say that, but yeah, man. I mean, that's how it is. We be taught to just tough it out, tough it up, man. You stop crying, but that's not the bad thing. Telling a man to tough it up, to tough it out, and don't cry about it, that to me is gonna help him. But that man, the same man that'll tell you to tough it out and tough it up, he needs to be that same man that's like, hey man, if you really feeling that bad about it, come talk to me. But if it's not nothing serious or not nothing that deep, don't be crying about it. You get what I'm saying? But if it's something you really want to talk to me about, come over here in my room or in my office or wherever setting you with, and we can talk about it. Because and you gotta have a man that can understand you, not just a guy, not just a random dude. Because a random dude gonna probably give you a bad reaction and think you weak and you a punk and you acting like a girl or whatever. You got to get around like-minded men, preferably like-minded men that has more experience than you, and they kind of been in the same position you've been in. But yeah, man, but I think that's hard for a lot of dudes too, to find a man that's like a mentor or whatever, because I think that like, how many men can you say is really on semen retention, that's really trying to control themselves sexually, you know? Because almost no man when they're young is trying to do that. They only try to get like that. A lot of men only try to get like that when they get older. But yeah, that's all I got to say for this video. Yo.